If you're looking for a net worth return on investment of 300%, this is how I did it. Welcome to 7422 Beach Court. It's a 5-bed, 2-bath, 2,400 square feet. We bought it in December of 2021 for $505. We live in the upstairs, which is a 3-bed, 1-bath, and downstairs is a 2-bed, 1-bath with a full kitchen that we Airbnb. We get to live for free. In the summer months, we actually cash flow, so pretty cool. My name's Kenny Smith here with eXp Realty and the FI team. Let me show you my house hack. So we'll start in the front here. As you can see, we did the xeriscaping. When we bought this place, the front yard was just straight mud. We realized that Denver, whether you believe it or not, is high desert. We don't get a lot of rain, so we didn't want to pay for the irrigation system. Certainly we didn't want to pay for the maintenance of having someone mow the lawn when we move out. So we just did rock, and I think it turned out great. So one of the other things we did is most of these homes in the late 50s, early 60s, the front porch has these old iron posts. They look really nasty. So really simple, we just went up and wrapped them in wood, stained them, and it gives it that fresh, nice new look. Come on in. This is our friendly dog, Nix. So this is the upstairs kitchen. Most of this was already done and renovated when we bought the place, which was really nice. Most of the work that we had to do was downstairs, right? We had to convert this single family home into a so-called duplex. All right, come on this way. So over here is our living room, which goes right out to the backyard. So the upstairs really is the only unit that has access to the backyard. Really, it makes it a little difficult to try to have two separate units have access to such a small backyard. So we decided to give it to the upstairs. All right, so coming this way down this hall, this is the day in the life of an Airbnb host. You have a bunch of Airbnb laundry here, right in front of our washer dryer. And what we did here is, this was actually one wall. We cut this out and we actually ran plumbing and electrical, tapped in the shower drain line, this is our bathroom closet, to add that second washer dryer upstairs. All right, let's check out the bathroom. So nothing too crazy about this. Most of this was already done, which is great. I was hoping for a double vanity, but that's okay. They did retile everything. So one of the things we do need to do is refinish our tub. It is a little bit older. It's got some scratches, but that's really simple. You can go to Lowe's and DIY it. All right, so coming this way, here is, I guess, our master. It's not much. A lot of these older homes, the rooms are a little bit smaller, but this is where we live. The flooring is all original, which is really nice. I think they did refinish it. This is our guest room, a little messy right now. But again, these will be our 2 bedrooms that will be Airbnb when we move out. So this third room is currently being used as an office, or my office, but we'll convert this into a really smaller desk, and then we'll actually have a futon in here. So in case someone wants to put a 5th person, they can put them in here. So one of the other things that's really nice is one of these smart thermostats. So one of the things you have to deal with is temperature control with guests. We're not on a split system, so each unit is just gonna have to have the same temperature, but I'm able to actually control this remotely. So if we get a request, I can simply go on my app, change it, and everyone's happy. All right, let's go outside. I'll show you the patio in the backyard. So coming out this way, we were able to redo part of this patio. Unfortunately, when we bought the place, the concrete was sloping downwards, so we did have to redo this. And then some of the steps that were originally there were also sinking, and they were very steep. So we had to redo this, and we were able to put in some of these railings just for extra safety precautions and, of course, liability for the property. We did just finish this. We were gonna do tongue and groove wood, but unfortunately wood is still really expensive right now, so a great alternative is corrugated steel. I think it turned out pretty nice. And then lastly, again, we had those old iron posts in the back. We were able to wrap in wood and give it, that newer look. So one of the other things that we did is extend the xeriscape in the backyard as well, starting with this artificial grass. So again, we thought about sod, but in the long run, this is a little more expensive to put in, but it's gonna save you a lot of money in the long run, right? And then we did rock on the outside as well. All right, so going from the upstairs to the downstairs. So the guests have access to this driveway, okay? So they come up here. This is their side entrance. So this is their private entrance into their unit. So coming through here, this was our kitchen upstairs, okay? So we have this door that basically connects the 2 units. So technically it's not a duplex. And then we have these curtains just for noise. These are noise canceling curtains. They certainly aren't gonna noise proof it, but they're certainly gonna help. All right, so coming downstairs, we'll stop in the kitchen first. So this was really the biggest project. This was just a concrete room when we bought it. So we had to do a lot of work here. We had to frame it out, we had to put insulation, drywall, texture, paint. We were able to get the cabinets and the countertops actually from a salon that was going out of business on Facebook Marketplace, 250 bucks. Not a bad deal. This is a full-size kitchen. It does have a full-size oven, full-size fridge. The countertops, like I said, these were repurposed. So all we had to do was sand it down, restain it, reglaze it. It's kind of waterproof it, and I think they turned out great. All right, so coming out in our hallway, we'll stop in the bathroom next. Most of this was renovated, which was really nice. New vanity, new mirror. The one thing that did need to be replaced was the shower. It was very old, it was original to the house from 1957. So I have an excellent tile guy. He was able to come in, completely redo it for a super reasonable price. I think it was only about 2,500 bucks. So if you need a guy, let me know. So not much in this room, but this all was exposed ceiling, so we did want to cover that up to make it a little bit nicer. Plus, there was open bats, so we wanted to cover that in insulation, so it was noise, not proof, but noise barrier, right, from us walking upstairs, which definitely helps. And then over here we do have our laundry, so washer dryer, so this is our secondary one for the guests downstairs. All right, so this is a radon mitigation system. It's really common here in Colorado that you'll get this natural radon, which is actually in the soil. And what happens is it can seep right into the basement. So you need some type of system to actually push that radon out, which is exactly what this is. This was something we negotiated during the inspection process. So they actually got this done before we moved in. So we felt really comfortable about renting it out as soon as it was ready. So one of the other things we had to add was central AC. There was no AC in this property. There was a swamp cooler in the upstairs family room, but it didn't really work. Certainly we wanted AC for the entire house. So we did add that in, and we got a great price from a guy that we typically use for 6,500 bucks. So coming out our laundry room and utility room, we'll go right into the family room. So when we bought the place, the carpet was new. They did paint everything, texture, which I thought was really nice. There was a couple other items that we had to fix, right? Starting with the fireplace. This was a wood-burning fireplace, which for a rental, probably not a great idea. So what we did was we actually added in an electric fireplace, an outlet right in the back there. And what's really cool about this, it's temperature controlled, right? So if they get cold here in the winter, they actually can raise the temperature on the electric fireplace, heating it up to whatever temperature they want. So coming over here, we'll check out one of the bedrooms down here. So I added these barn doors. They're pretty simple to put up for the most part. It comes as a kit from Lowe's. So really you just have to put them together, and I think it gives that really nice feel instead of just that kind of accordion door here, something a little more modern. And then coming through here, this was the old electrical box, but we did have to run a new box outside. So no one can get into that and mess with the electrical. And then another thing we had to do here was add an egress window. Okay, so it is code to have an egress window in all the basement rooms. That's because if there was ever a fire or someone got trapped down here and couldn't get out because they were stuck in their bedroom, that'd be a big problem. So this way they can get out, firefighters or whoever needs to get in here to protect them or save them, they have that accessibility. Going through our family room to the other side, which is the second bedroom. So pretty similar size as the other bedroom for the most part. What was really nice when we bought this place was the egress window that was already there. I mean, these aren't cheap to put in. They're about 4,200 bucks, at least from the guy I use. So having that already there for at least one of the bedrooms was really clutch. You're probably wondering what the numbers look like, kind of how we got into this. So again, the plan was to live in the top floor, Airbnb this basement. Our monthly mortgage is right around $2,590. Okay, so about 2,600 bucks a month. We're able to buy this again in December of 2021. We're able to get a smoking interest rate at 3.25%. For most months, we bring in about 2,600 bucks, right? That's I would say maybe the off-season months. In the peak months of summer, though, we can bring in as much as 4,500 to 5,000. So it's like not only we're living for free in the off-season, we're actually cash flowing plus living for free in those busy summer months. So I get this question asked a lot, why didn't you just buy the place and Airbnb the entire house? It's a good question. So, when you're house hacking, you can put as low as 5% down as long as you're going to be living in the property, right? So that's why we did what we did, because if we bought this as an investment property and took out an investment loan, we'd have to put 20 to 25% down, right? So that's almost 4 to 5 times more than the money that we put into the property. So another question I get is, when we move out of that top floor, well, why don't you just Airbnb the entire house? And it's a good point. Certainly you can make a lot of money, Airbnb an entire house, a full 5-bedroom, but I think it's a little more seasonal than, smaller units. Maybe in the peak season during the summer, you're gonna get a whole bunch of money, but in the off season, you don't have as many people traveling, to host parties and have events and things like that. Maybe it's only a couple people that are traveling. They don't need 5 bedrooms, and they certainly don't want to pay that higher price, right? They'd rather pay a lower price for a smaller unit place like this. Therefore, we do this, and we're able to fill our occupancy a lot better than if we were rent out the whole house. So we are going to be working on our next house hack, our 4th, right? So we're going to be moving out of that top floor. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch things up. So this downstairs is actually gonna be moved to a medium-term rental, right? Because we don't want 2 Airbnbs, one on top of the other. It can only cause problems with noise and so on and so forth. So we're projecting to get about maybe $2,200 for this unit downstairs. The upstairs we're projecting about $3,500. So after all expenses and everything else, our total net profit on this place will be right around $2,600. So again, my name's Kenny Smith here with the FI team, local investor and a local agent. The reason we do what we do is because we want financial independence, just like everyone else, right? We don't want to have to work until we're 65. So remember your why, because your why takes you where you need to be. There's a great quote. It's, be willing to live the next few years how most people won't, so you can live the rest of your life how most people can't. Pretty powerful stuff. So if you're looking to connect, my email is simply Kenny, Kenny, @thefiteam.com. My Instagram is Mr._Kenny Smith, and my phone number is 720-885-5362. Thanks for hanging out. We'll talk to you soon.